Well guys, it is now less than 24 hours until the Nintendo Switch 2 releases, and depending on when you're watching this, and maybe it's just a couple hours before, shoot, maybe you're watching this after Switch 2 is already released. But man, it's crazy. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but we are just a couple of hours away from not just a new console release for Nintendo. It means so much more than that because it's a new generation for Nintendo. It's a new, almost fresh start from Nintendo. But as we are moving forward, it's also time to say goodbye to the Nintendo Switch. And I wanted to go back for a second and kind of talk about the Switch and kind of where I began with this channel and kind of what the Switch was able to do for me. Real quick, I'm making this video in advance, so I'm not really able to update, but the other day ago, you guys brought in almost 600 new subscribers. So if you guys are very excited for Switch 2, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. It helps out so much and help us bring in the new generation in a big way. Let's see how many people we can get to subscribe from just this video. But let me get back into what I'm talking about here. The Nintendo Switch was one of my most hype moments of all time as a Nintendo fan. I loved the Wii U, and just coming off of how much everybody else seemed to not really care about it, this felt like a huge thing for Nintendo. This felt like this was something that Nintendo had to prove to themselves and to everyone else that they can make a very successful console. And I remember being in a parking lot of my college campus, rushing to the car, leaving class early, making up an excuse to my professor. I think I made up a doctor excuse or something like that, just so I could go to my car and watch the trailer for the Nintendo Switch reveal. If I'm not mistaken, at this time I was a freshman in college, newly admitted into college, and I was so hype about this console. I mean, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I bought a calendar and started marking down every day, every week, every month until the Switch 2 2017 presentation. I remember it like it was yesterday. I believe I do because it was very abnormal for Nintendo. It was a Friday night presentation, and I remember being bundled up in the family room with my entire family in my childhood home, and I remember all of us watching this presentation together because it was where Nintendo was unveiling their big plans for the future, and I remember just being in awe. I've been up and down with Nintendo Directs in the Wii U era, but this presentation alone was something that I will always remember because it's probably my favorite one Nintendo has ever given. Seeing a presentation filled with Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, a brand new IP in the form of ARMS, Splatoon 2, it was just massive. I have never in my life played a game quite like Breath of the Wild. I remember sitting there for hours just doing nothing, just running around and just making a fool out of myself, or out of Link technically, and just blowing myself up, testing different things with the physics engine, and literally was one of the greatest experiences that I've ever had in a video game in my entire life. As much as I loved Zelda, you guys know Mario has always been my baby since I was a little boy. Mario games is what I strive for, and especially 3D Mario, because I loved Mario 3D World, but it didn't scratch that itch, as Sunshine has always been my favorite 3D Mario game. It's been so long since the last time we got an open 3D sandbox Mario game, and finally Mario Odyssey was it. I will never forget Mario jumping out of that manhole cover and shocking the world, looking at all these vibrant, saturated kingdoms. This was just peak, and there wasn't that many people online just screaming in your ear, this game doesn't look good, or this doesn't look good. You know, it was just like everybody collectively loved what they saw from Super Mario Odyssey, and it was just the most beautiful time to be a Nintendo fan. Odyssey alone was the reason why I wanted to start a YouTube channel, because I had so much love for this game. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. During classes in college, I would think about this game. I would text my dad and he'd text me back talking about the game. It was just something that would constantly be in my mind, and I just have never had a hype level this high for a game. I could not sleep the week until this game came out. It was just crazy. Now, I will admit, for me, the Nintendo Switch was a constant fluctuation of highs and lows, where one year I'd be so unbelievably amazed by what Nintendo put out, and other years I'd be like, that's it? I know not every single year is going to be massive, but man, some of these reveals will always be some of my craziest reactions I've ever had. Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door remake almost broke me. I literally do not cry unless it is a seriously sad movie or something. They got me. I mean, I couldn't control myself. I felt overwhelmed by a presence that I haven't felt since I was a kid, and I'm 27 years old, crying over a Paper Mario game. Luigi's Mansion 3 was like a child in my arms that I was so proud of as I was watching them grow up, you know, because this series only has 3 games in the franchise, finally giving it a third on Nintendo Switch, and I was just so proud of it. The performance that it put up, the amount of copies that this game sold, it literally just warmed my heart to know that Luigi's Mansion is going to be a franchise now. Like, it's just there. Like, it is going to grow and become this huge separate entity, and it makes me so happy. This was by far one of my greatest and most favorite performances on the Nintendo Switch. It looks amazing, it plays amazing, it's addictive. I've played through the game probably 5 times already, and I'm not joking. I might not be the biggest fan of Tears of the Kingdom, but I will say, as much as I love Breath of the Wild, I was fine with whatever Tears of the Kingdom gave, because Breath of the Wild was just that good, and I didn't think there was anything else Zelda related that could capture me and pull me in. And I thought if there was going to be any remakes, it's clearly going to be of Wind Waker or Twilight Princess coming over from the Wii U. But I'm sorry for those that still really want those games, I do too. But man, my favorite Zelda game, Skyward Sword, of all Zelda games, got a remake, which, oh my gosh. I mean, Link's Awakening is also one of my favorites that also got a remake, but Skyward Sword, it's just my childhood. Once again, with the fluctuation, Kirby Star Allies was not a fun game to me, but Kirby in the Forgotten Land blew me away. It was Kirby's first 3D platforming adventure, and they knocked it out the park. HAL Labs delivered on all fronts. They didn't just make something very simple and basic back in Dream World. They took Kirby and his friends to a completely new world with new enemies, bosses, and new capture abilities with upgrades and tons of secrets and hidden Easter eggs everywhere. This game seriously is like the epitome of a perfect Kirby game to me. I cannot wait to see what else they do with 3D Kirby in the future, and oh my gosh, it was almost on the same levels of excitement for me as 3D Mario. They killed this game. Splatoon would get 2 games, which was so satisfying to me. I wish I would have played more of both of these games. I think it might be due to the fact that I overexhausted myself with the first game on the Wii U. Just played it way too much and put in way too many hours. But having 2 Splatoon games on one console was crazy, and I had a blast. And honestly, Splatoon 2 is one of the games that helped to launch my channel in the first place. It's one of the first times I actually sat down and made a real big video on a game, and it's kind of the, you know, start of Nintendo Land with Splatoon 2 and the Octo expansion. And do I even need to talk about Smash? This was one of the most hype games ever. I mean, video game characters being included across craziest game series. Banjo and Kazooie, Minecraft Steve, Kazuya Mishima. I mean, seriously, how did Sakurai pull some of this off? Sora from Kingdom Hearts finally made it. It was just like a beautiful testament to the ending of Smash. There's so many games I could sit here and talk about, like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe coming back and bringing all the DLC and bringing all my friends together for weekly video game nights, or finally getting a new Pikmin game after we've been hearing Pikmin 4 was in development for like, what, 7 years? And also, this game console allowed me to try, finally, some game series that I never was going to even think about playing. I just finished Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which is easily one of the greatest stories that I've ever witnessed in a video game. I finally tried Animal Crossing for the first time. I wasn't a huge fan of this, but I'm glad I tried it, and I see why people can get sucked into the world of Animal Crossing. And yes, this is gonna blow a lot of people's minds. This is the first time I ever played and completed a Pokemon game. Yep, Pokemon Sword and Shield was my first Pokemon game. It never really was my thing, and I ended up 100%ing this game, completely filling out the dex and everything. And yeah, I know a lot of Pokemon fans are going to be mad that Sword and Shield is my first entry into the series and probably my most nostalgic game. It's just like, what? That's the point. Only something like that would have happened with Nintendo Switch. For some reason, I was so hooked on to this console, I was willing to give everything a try. I mean, I even bought Fire Emblem Engage, I just haven't played it yet. When I sit back and see how far this one silly little console got me to, it's absolutely a blessing from God. I can't believe that literally a console about a screen that can be put onto a TV in Mario games has become my full-time job. Starting off in college and just doing this part-time, eventually evolving into a full-time job 7 years later, all because of how successful Switch 2 was. This isn't just a success story for me, it's one for a lot of other users as well. Some of my good content creator fans on this platform that you've probably seen and probably still watch to this day all started growing from Switch in general. I mean, there weren't many YouTubers and people doing it as a full-time job and getting paid for it really during the Wii U era. I mean, it was relatively a niche thing to get YouTubers posting about Wii U. So to see how many new YouTubers just jumped up from the Nintendo Switch era is truly exciting, and I can't wait to see how many more come and spawn up in the Switch 2 era. And that's exactly why I keep saying that it's more than just a new console releasing soon. It's literally the next era of Nintendo. It's more hype, more games to be excited about. You know, we're already excited for Mario Kart World and Donkey Kong Bonanza and probably even Metroid Prime 4 and more games to come as well this year. But there's still so many other possible games for us to get so hype about for the next 7 to 8 years. The next Splatoon, the next Luigi's Mansion, the next 3D Mario, finally, dang it, where's it at? It's gonna be coming and it's going to be amazing, I know it. Yes, the next Mario Maker, the next Smash Brothers with speculation of who's going to be in the game. Hopefully it's a reboot, kind of reinventing the series. There's so many reasons to be hype and happy because we are officially going around that cycle again, where it's time to revisit franchises and see what's next and what's in store for us as the next game in the franchise. What's next for Zelda after Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? What's next for the Mario Maker franchise? Are we going to just 3 or are we going to go 3D? What's next for Yoshi? Is Yoshi finally going to jump into 3D like Kirby? Is Kirby getting a new 3D game soon? There's just so many questions and so many reasons to be excited. Man, the Switch 2 has been a roller coaster of itself, from just speculation so long ago when people just thought it was going to be the Switch Pro. And all the major news outlets were so convinced that the console was going to release at the end of last year and be announced at the beginning of last year, and nothing happened, and we still didn't get any announcements at the end of last year. But around September of last year, we started getting leaks of the console, and pictures started popping up, and everybody was swarming the internet thinking the reveal was about to happen. I was on vacation, just constantly like walking on the beach, looking at my phone, waiting for Nintendo to reveal this thing every morning during that vacation week. It's not the way I would recommend spending your vacation, but still, I was so hyped for this thing, and finally at the beginning of this year, getting our eyes on what this console is, even though it leaked all over the place, it was exciting to finally have it revealed and finally see the next Mario Kart game that we've waited patiently for over 11 years. Donkey Kong finally getting a new game and a new 3D game since Donkey Kong 64. I can't tell you how many times I've played Returns and Tropical Freeze in the last 10 years. Don't get me wrong, Tropical Freeze is one of my favorite games of all time, and I think one of Nintendo's greatest that they've ever made. But even with that, we were definitely due for a new Donkey Kong game, and that's coming literally a month after Mario Kart World. That's insane. Mario Kart World is coming out in a day. Donkey Kong Bonanza is coming out next month. I'm not even talking about the rest of the games that's slated for the rest of this year, plus maybe even some more surprises for later this year in the holiday and even beginning of next year. I'm like, Nintendo is off already on an extremely good start for Switch 2. So maybe right now you're sitting, waiting anxiously for Switch 2, or maybe you're getting ready to go to the midnight launch at GameStop or Best Buy. I don't even know if Best Buys are doing it, but whatever you're doing right now, maybe you already are holding your Nintendo Switch 2 and for some reason you want to watch this video. But just be in the moment. Be excited for this. Who knows how much longer we have to be excited about a new console like this. because man, this is a once in a 7 to 8 year thing. I'm going to be 34 to 35 when the next console releases. Guys, when Switch launched, I just graduated high school and actually just started college. And now with Switch 2, I graduated college with my bachelor's. Go Buckeyes. Yep, I graduated from the Ohio State University. It doesn't matter. Look what I'm doing with my degree. Clearly nothing. A degree in Nintendo yapping, I guess you could say. I don't know. But I found a girl. I dated her for 2 years and now have been married to her for 2 years. And we went through 2 apartments and finally just brought a home together. Life is crazy. So who knows what's going to happen by the time of Switch 3 or whatever Nintendo's next console is going to be. Probably have kids and the whole life is going to change. Oh my gosh, it's crazy to think of how things change so fast. But wherever you are, whether you're at work or school or whatever you're doing right now, I think school's pretty much out for a lot of you guys, which is a great feeling, especially with a brand new console coming out for the summer for you to play with Mario Kart and Donkey Kong. But whatever you're doing right now, just take a breath and enjoy this moment. Enjoy this feeling. Capture this, because it's not too often we get to have this. Be excited for this. Have high expectations because we only live once. This is an exciting time and you should be excited for it. But thank you guys. Not just for tuning in today like normal, but thank you guys for tuning in for the last 7 to 8 years. You guys have made this possible for me. The Nintendo Switch has been so successful for not just Nintendo, but for me in my life. You guys have been watching videos no matter how many times I blabble on about 3D Mario or how many things you missed you've watched in the past 20 games or so that I've done that with. You guys stuck with me through it all, through some of the hard times and some of the best times that I've ever had here on this platform. So thank you. Thank you for your support and thank you for your love. I am truly blessed and God has blessed me with an amazing community. You guys rock and I cannot wait to start a new generation with you guys. I've met and made so many more friends along this journey. So many new content creator friends and just great people in general. This has been a ride of a lifetime and not too many people can say that they've been able to do this. So like I've said 100 times already, I truly am blessed, and I thank every single one of you, even those of you that are not subscribed and just watching this video because out of pure curiosity. But thank you. And I will see you for a brand new generation on Nintendo Switch 2 and Mario Kart World. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I hope you all have a blessed day and a blessed night. Stay safe and onward to Switch 2.